Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I'm your host, Jarvis Cocker, and with me tonight, I have my co-host, Stu Wally. Tonight, we're going to break down the Man United friendly game against West Ham yesterday, and we are going to talk about the latest transfer news. There are some updates on Antony, and there's been apparently a bid from Al-Nassr, but United have rejected. We want £50 million for the player. We will see what will happen and we will break it down. There's also some updates on the Cesko transfer. There have been some rumors about Gabriel, Sara, and we will talk about a player called Kobbie Mainoo. Apparently, there's another Premier League club interested in him and are inquiring about it. So we will break it down. People, smash the like, subscribe if you are new, and we will be back, Stu and I, after the intro. So see you in a second. Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. And first of all, I want to congratulate the Lionesses of England winning the Euros on penalties. They won 3-1 against Spain in a thriller of a game. Stu, congratulations. How does it feel to have the best female team in Europe?
Well, may I just say, double champions, back to back European Cup, European champions, which is absolutely great. Plus, they've beaten the world champions as well. It's worth noting that Spain hadn't lost the game at all, even in the group stages, all the way to the final. Spain are by far better than us, but we've got a grit and a determination that the men who play for our national team could just maybe take a look at. Absolutely brilliant. I don't recall. Well, it's the first time in our history that any of our teams, in terms of football, have been back-to-back champions that I can remember. So I'm absolutely delighted.
That's something. But yeah. I have to say, I was quite surprised because I watched the game. I was quite surprised that they took Russo off in the 80th minutes or 75th minute, because she was by far the biggest threat for England in that game. Yes. So yeah, I couldn't quite understand the dispositions of the England coach. I don't know. Did you react on that?
No, not really. Not really. The young girl, I'm going to call her Aubameyang, and I know it isn't, but it's very, very similar to that in the pronunciation. She's come on and scored 2 goals from the bench. We were looking. I think Weigman was looking to do something a little bit different to disrupt the Spanish. Okay. But what you do when you take Russo off, you take a lot of pressing. Her pressing game is phenomenal. She doesn't stop at the time that she's on. She scored a very, very good goal as well. It was a brilliant header. She did everything that you should do. When the ball comes in, you push it away, back to where it came from. It's a phenomenal header. But having said that, the Spanish goal as well, Paredes, that was a really good header. 2 really good headers, which you don't really see in women's football.
No,
2 really good headers. Both really good sides. Spain, you could see Spain were a step up above us, but the old adage is you don't put the ball in the back of the net. You go to penalties. You are risking everything. So, and that's what happened. So, I'm absolutely over the moon. It's great to be English. We're very, very proud of our Lionesses. Yes. There's a couple of Manchester United players in there as well. Ella Toon started. There's a couple of ex-Manchester United players in there. Mère Laetitia, I believe, was on the bench. She didn't actually get on. So, no, it was absolutely brilliant.
I think come on in the second extra inning.
I think she did.
The game was an interesting game, and I would say I will have a bold statement. If if Spain had Russo on top, I think they would have won it
Different
because
story. Yeah,
the
she's
striker
an
were
excellent player.
ineffective. Yeah,
Yeah, no, she's an excellent player, but Spain are all round a better unit, to be honest. But look, you got to get over the line in football. How many times have me and you turned around and said you could have 99% possession, but if you don't hit the target or put it in the back of the net, it's an irrelevance. Get the ball up, Cantona, 1-0. Thank you very much. The end.
That's
3
the
points.
objective of the game.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Man United. A lot of people have tuned in already. I see Vopes coming in early saying, "Evening alls, please smash like on the way in." Yes, people, smash like if you haven't. 76 people tuned in already. Mr. B coming in and say, "I can't see Antony doing this at his age." Yes, we will talk about the Antony thing. That's the main topic. We will go to the Antony thing next. I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. We have Tom Porter coming in. Big up, Tom. Good to see you. We have Matty here. Who else do we have? We have Johnny Kermode coming in and say good evening, everyone. Howler is here. Gas Elliott is here. IDK is in the house. Big up. Good to see all of you. Who else? Yes, we have Tyrone Williams coming in and saying, "Well done, Lionesses. So proud of every single one of you." Yes, it was an outstanding thing, winning back-to-back championships with the Lionesses. I am Titanium's in the house, and who else? We have Raymond Pierce. So, and Jarle Malmin coming in with the comment. Good to see you, Jarle. If Felix can say yes, then Antony can say yes as well. And Jarle Malmin, always positive. Norwegian guy, always positive and keeping the positivity flowing. Big up, Jarle. I hope you're well. So let's go to the Antony thing. I'm just gonna find my picture of.
There he is.
There he is. Al-Nassr sent an offer to sign Antony, and MUFC are responding by asking for £50 million. You heard it right, £50 million. So it's a huge price for a player like Antony, but I think it's a fair price when you look at his season at the Real Betis. 50 million, we can do well with those money. I think we only need 35 million pounds to go into profit. So
that's right.
It will be a big deal for Man United. So how do you feel, Stu? Do you think this will happen?
There's been this season particularly, transfer fees seem to be related to similar players. So people are saying, well, João Felix went for 44 million. How come? Why can't Antony go for that type of money? But I'm also in the thought process, just get rid. If you don't want him, just get rid. And if somebody's offering you 30, 35, 40 mil, just take the money. It's the same with Garnacho. It's the same with Sancho. Just take the fucking money. We can't be messing around anymore, backwards and forwards, trying to sell players, not get the money we want, and you get lumbered with them. Either way, we've got to pay his year's salary then. So if you get what is wrong with getting 35 million, 40 million, and getting his salary off the books? What is wrong with that? Well, that's what I would do. We've suffered for so long with these players. Look, Antony had a great, half season at Real Betis. Maybe he's waiting for Real Betis to come in, but Manchester United can't afford to do that. We want to be serious now between now and when we start in a few weeks' time, because bearing in mind, it's August the 1st. On I think it's Thursday or Friday. Thursday, isn't it? It's August the 1st, Thursday.
Right.
So we've got problems. We start at 4:30 against Arsenal. Arsenal have just concluded the Ugarte deal. By the way, did anyone see their 15-year-old? Jesus wept. They put a 15-year-old. I think it was on yesterday against Newcastle. It was absolutely. You can't see it. He was absolutely amazing. Anyway, that's beside the point. But they are strengthening. We've all seen what's happened today. Luis Diaz off to Bayern Munich. We know what that means. That's another 70 million quid that Liverpool is just going to go and knock on Newcastle's door. And Isak's probably going to walk his way down to Liverpool. I'd not changed my mind one little bit about what I was talking about the other day. We should have gone balls out for Isak. I don't care whether we got the money or not. You should find the money for a player like that. We're not going to do it. So it doubly infuriates me if we are dicking about and not accepting a 40 million quid deal or a 35 million plus add-ons deal with Al-Nassr, because the bottom line is you've got to start to move these players off. So I would take it. Aaron, good to see you, buddy. So I would take the money, whatever it is. I would do the deal, and I would say to Antony, here's the deal. We are accepting this bid. If you want to go to Real Betis, you get on the phone to your agent. You get your agent to get on the phone to Betis. You tell them what's happening. And if you don't strike a deal with Manchester United within 48 to 72 hours, I'm going to Al-Nassr. The end. Period. Start playing hardball. We have been quite savvy in our negotiations. You know, on a lot of the sell-on clauses that we've seen, and we've raised money. We raised 18.6 million from those. But you've got to start playing hardball now. None of this messing around. He was left behind for a reason, and that was to sort yourself out. Same with Garnacho. Same with Sara. I know, by all accounts, Juventus are waiting to sell players on, aren't they? So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. Rashford has got his move. He got what he wanted. We've got 300 grand off the books per week. You know, that's freed up a lot of money. You do the same with Garnacho. You take the money. With Antony, you take the money, and he goes. I agree with Mr. B, by the way. He's way, way, way too young to want to go. But at the end of the day, he's got money. He will get paid a lot of money out there. He can maybe do 2 seasons. At the end of the day, yes. Well, we're not. Yeah, I'll try not.
Matt Hargreaves.
Yes, I'll laugh with you on that one, Jamie.
Adidas guy.
Yeah, and I would take some money, but you've got to start twisting a knife as a football club, in my opinion. If Al-Nassr are serious, I mean, crikey, they've come in and done the João Felix deal in what?
João Felix deal. Boom.
48 hours. 48 hours. How the hell have Chelsea got 44 million quid for João Felix?
That's Chelsea for you. They know how to negotiate.
But this is United. Oh, you know, we want 50 million because just take the money. I implore them, just please take the money. Get these people that we do not want off the books. Get it gone. You know, because Al-Nassr will pay. We won't have to worry about money. That's it. We get the money in. Yes, we've lost 50 million quid. It is what it is. Or 40 million quid, whatever he goes for. It is what it is. You're not getting 50 million quid for Antony. Nobody's coming from him in the Premier League.
No.
Nobody's put a serious bid in from Europe. Al-Nassr want him. Get the deal done. You're right about
the only
one
offer we have is, as Jarle Malmin is saying here, Real Betis, they offered about 20 million euros, I believe, for Antony, and we would half own Antony, and they would get 50% if it was sold again with the big sell-on cost. It was a difficult deal to be done. Real Betis didn't want to cough up the money, so as Jarle says, it was a really complicated deal that
doesn't belong in football. I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
If that's the case, take the money because it's an easy deal. You get that money up front. You would have that money in your bank account.
I think Al-Nassr will just pay us 50 million like that first season, no installment, just
100%. 100%. They won't even dick about with that. 50 million. Hold on. Let me just get me white out. There you go. There's 50 million. The interesting thing was there's a lot of conjecture actually going around about Al-Nassr and Chelsea being funded not by the PIF, but they're investors of Clear Lake, aren't they, who own Chelsea. So they were saying that's why that deal was quite easily done. Okay. But ultimately, if Al-Nassr coming knocking on your door, you would take the money and say to Antony, I'm sorry, you've got 48 hours to 72 maybe hours to get it dealt with. If you don't deal with it, we're taking the money from Al-Nassr and you're going to, and that's it.
Magnifico 88 comes in and say Brazilian very passionate to play for Cesko. A move there would lose his place for the World Cup.
Well, apparently, actually, Magnifico, he's been apparently assured. Apparently, if this is reports, we don't know it for sure. Magnifico has been assured it wouldn't affect his place in the Brazilian national side. That's what I've heard. So whether or not that's true, who knows? But fair for me, but we can't concern ourselves with that, Jarvis. We can't.
We just need the money. Give us
as
the money.
fans, as a football club, we can't concern ourselves with that. And when Saudi Arabia are knocking on your door, that's when you take the money. We're the only club that doesn't deal with Saudi Arabians. Have you noticed?
Yeah,
we don't deal with them. We won't deal with them. We didn't entertain it with Bruno, with Al Hilal, and now we're saying you want 50 million. Just honestly, they're so infuriating. Our club. Look, 40 million quid, 35 million quid. It offers you options. It's your goalkeeper straight away.
Yes.
If you want to invest in it, it's like what we've been quoted for layman's 20 mil.
20, yeah.
It's your goalkeeper. It's your layman's. There you go. Lamans. Go and get Lamans if that's what you want to do.
I think it's not even 20, maybe it's 17.
I think it was euros. I think it was 20 million euros. Yeah. Go and get Lamans. There you go. Thank you very much. We'll go and get Lamans. Then we'll concentrate on Cesko. It's an easy hit. It's an easy win for us. It's an easy win for, maybe not for Antony, but it's an easy win for us and it's great for them. But, João Felix has just been bumped around from club to club to club, and yet Chelsea can do. They must be laughing their heads off. Chelsea, look at Liverpool. The Diaz deal hasn't really taken Bayern Munich that long.
No. When
you consider it, it's only been a couple of weeks.
But it's a done deal. The Diaz thing also.
It's been accepted.
75 or something. 70.
I think the 75 million euros, about 68 million quid, wasn't it? Something like that. But it's been done. So look, ultimately he's done. So we know what Liverpool are going to do. Liverpool are going to take that money and they're going to go straight up, aren't they, to Newcastle?
Isak
and they're going to unsettle Isak again to get their man.
The reports from, I think it was Ben Jacobs, came out 10 minutes ago that the Newcastle hierarchy are unsure about selling Isak. So they're not in tune. But, I think if they receive enough money, they will do it. I think 120 will be sufficient. But, that's a lot of money.
120 will do it. And Liverpool can afford to do it, by the way. At the end of the day, they spent nothing last year. They made a shit ton of money by winning the league. And Champions League money that's come in. So, at the end of the day, you're right, Tyrone. He might not want to go, but this is where I think as a club, we've got to turn around and say tough. Sorry, mate. We've told you, we made it very, very clear to you at the end of the season, you were to find a club. And
we want 50 million.
Yeah, you're not in our valuation. Yeah, you're not in our plans. But I would take 40 million. And if Al-Nassr are coming in and trying to lowball us at 35 plus his annual salary off the books, I don't know how long he's got, 2 years left in his contract, probably another 10 million quid over 2 years. There's your money. It isn't rocket science. Football's never been rocket science. Deals are complicated. I get it. I understand it. Image rights, etc. But ultimately, if Antony wants to go to the World Cup, he's had his supposedly reported. He's been told it won't affect his chances. Go and play football. Don't be. If I was him and I want to go to the World Cup, Jarvis, I wouldn't be dicking around in pre-season, not with a club.
I'm just asking, is Antony good enough to play for Brazil?
Well, again, pal, that's not our problem. But if you want to play, what are you doing sitting on your ass?
Who is he up against? What's the Real Madrid right winger? Rodrigo?
Yeah, someone like that, yeah. Or Vinicius, he can play whatever, But again, Ancelotti, if he's gone and Ancelotti said it won't affect your chances, why are you sitting around doing, just training on your own? Why are you doing that? What if you want to go to the World Cup, whether we like Rashford or not, and whenever we think about Rashford or not, he's probably been told you've got to have a full season of playing. So he's done and got his deal. He's taken a wage cut, whatever. He's gone to Barcelona and he's got his deal. He's done. He's playing. He's already training. He played last night, didn't he? I don't think he had a great game, but I think he played last night. So he's already playing. Antony is doing nothing. Garnacho doing nothing. If he wants to go to the World Cup with Argentina, you should have been in a club by now.
He should.
Yeah. Sancho doesn't give a fuck, by the way. He doesn't care whether he plays for England again or not. He's interested in money. He just doesn't care. So he's, and Malacia is probably never going to get in the Dutch squad at this point. But he should be out. Surely somebody could pay 3 or 4 million for Malacia. In fact, I think Malacia's contract to be that small, I'd cancel it.
Yeah. Easy. Well, I think we should get at least 5 million for Malacia, 5 million.
I just cancel his contract. Yeah.
You can't lose any. You can sell him on for 5 million, it's nothing.
Easy.
It's nothing.
So sorry, I know you're going to read that.
No. Wendy makes a point. She starts with this. Why would Antony, who wants to play in the World Cup, go to Saudi Arabia? Antony is on a guaranteed contract. You can't force a player to go where he doesn't want to go. And second of all, she comes with this. United were getting more money for Fred from Fulham, but Fred didn't agree to the terms, and he decided to go to Turkey, which was less money than Fulham was offering. So, it's still up to the player. I think his agent, Pedroso, I think is called. I heard some sources. I think it was Mick who mentioned that Antony was on board and was willing to go to Saudi. But that's the only loose end I have when it comes to this. I haven't heard anything else, just what Mick said about this.
That is everything that's wrong with football. Wendy's absolutely right, but it's everything that's wrong with the modern game in football. Yeah. Shouldn't be allowed. The player should not dictate to you. He plays for the club. He's a contractor who plays for the club. We lob him on a contract. Get him gone. Tough. Sorry. You don't tell us. You do not dictate to Manchester United what you do. You're gone. Get stuffed. You're out the door. That's what we've got to start doing. We have to start doing this. And if he wants to sit on his ass, he ain't going to the World Cup. What does he want? Do you want to go to the World Cup or not? Because if you stay at Manchester United, you're not playing. So you're not playing, you're not going to the World Cup. If you go to Saudi Arabia, you play, you probably go to the World Cup.
You have a chance. At least you have a chance.
And you probably double your wages.
Yeah.
Whatever you're on now. So you've got a chance. But if you stay and you piss me off, you're not playing. I'm not going to integrate you into the team. I'm going to lob you in the under-23s. Or you're going to train on your own. The end, you have to do this. And if he starts crying, tough. There's a box of Kleenex in my drawer. Here you go.
Well, Antony hasn't been the type of player. Well, he was at Ajax. He forced his way out for the Man United move, but I think he's been quite professional when it comes to this Real Betis thing. He wants to play in Spain. He wants to enjoy himself at Real Betis.
He wants to go back to Betis, but the deal's no good for us, Jarvis. The deal isn't any good for us. If you want to go to Betis, put your agent to work. But, this is Manchester United's terms. If you can't agree to them, my client's going somewhere else.
That's just the way it is.
And if I was the agent, by the way, Jarvis, if I was the agent, I'd be thinking, fucking Saudi Arabia. Right.
Pedroso.
Yeah. My commission has just gone up to 25%, not a measly 10. But you've got to. You can't mess around. Cassie's right. You can't mess around anymore. Chelsea don't dick about. Liverpool don't dick about. Sorry, go on.
Can you do me a favor? I hear my dog. I left it outside now. It's started raining. So give me 1 second. I'll bring the dog in. Do some comments.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'll do some comments in a minute. What I was going to say is that Cassie's right. Chelsea don't mess around. They don't want you there. You're gone, or you just hang around in the reserves, and you've got no prospects. We all know that with football, especially in a World Cup year. It's the most important year for a footballer. That cycle. Same with the European Championships. So if he's got aspirations of playing to the World Cup, he's got to do something. He's got to make that move. As I say, when you look at Sancho doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care. Sancho's interested in his bank account. I don't think Sancho's even interested in playing football right now, but he's 100% interested in his bank account. What we do with Garnacho, I think Garnacho is going to be the linchpin for the striker, isn't it? I think. It appears to be the key to what we do striker-wise, Garnacho. But again, if he's got any aspirations of going with Argentina, you've got to be playing. So I ask you again, and I ask you this, Jarvis.
Yep.
If you are a player in a World Cup year and you're already 3 weeks into pre-season and you are nowhere, you're not training with the first team and you've got no prospects outside the club, what the hell are you doing? as a footballer. What are you doing?
Yeah, first of all, you have to play the game. That's the only thing that matters. You have to play the game, or you're nothing, even if you're a footballer.
Well, what
Or
got
you can
Antony
just
to
sit there
Man-
and collect your wages forever as Sancho. But no one respects Sancho anymore.
No. What got Antony to Manchester United? He had a decent couple of seasons at Ajax. What got Sancho to Manchester United? He was excellent for Dortmund, and he was. He was excellent for Dortmund. He's never going to fit us, but he was excellent for Dortmund.
He was.
You know, what got Wirtz to Liverpool? By playing football. Gyökeres to Arsenal by playing football. They're constantly. So it's a real problem for us, this, in my opinion. Real problem. So I think you've got to make an example out of Antony. But I do agree with you, by the way, Jarvis. I'm not going to disagree on that. I think you're right. I think Antony has tried to be professional when it comes to Betis. I think he's made it very, very clear. If that deal had come in for Betis, he'd be on the plane tonight, having his medical tomorrow, and he'd be happy. You know. So, but I just think we've got to turn the screw, mate. Sorry to say.
We just need to do it. People, do I have your attention right now? Everybody, please do us a favor. We are, I think we have 39 likes, 100 and something watching on YouTube, 111 on YouTube, 260 in total on X. So please do us a favor, everybody, smash the like. We need the help we can get from you guys. You are our audience that can help us push us out with the algorithm. So please do us a favor, smash the like. Now I said it. I won't bother you about it, the likes all the time, but we need a little bit more help from you guys and girls, by the way. I just want to say, when it comes to this Antony thing, Al-Nassr, if they want him, I don't think we want to negotiate. If they offer, let's say 45, we want 50. Let's just go 45. Take 45 and just be done with it. We want him out of our books and the money. We need the money. 35, more than 35 is pure profit when it comes to Antony. Let's go to the next subject. I'm done with the Antony deal. I want to talk a little bit about Cesko and Man United fighting with Newcastle for Cesko. And, if we get this money, Antony money, I think the pieces will be in place and we are able to bid for Cesko about something between 60 to 70 millions. Would that be sensible, going for a play like this? Or should we go for Watkins, 60 million? That's Willa asks for him.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw his goal yesterday. It was a well-taken goal. We know he's a decent striker when he's on form. But I watched Jared Bowen last night, and I still am absolute amazement. There's not one bid gone in for Jared Bowen. I just don't fucking get it. I just don't get it. Why Tottenham aren't? Tottenham want Wissa. Why wouldn't you want Bowen and stuff like that? Look, I said a few weeks ago, Jarvis, that the striker pool was that small. Whoever went to, like Gyökeres going to Arsenal or whatever, was going to only offer us or allow us to look at Cesko or Osimhen, and Osimhen then going to Galatasaray. Has that been firmed up yet?
Say again, Osimhen. Yeah, I think that's a done deal.
I think that's a done deal. Yeah. So we're only really looking at Cesko or Watkins, or we take a punt on Ivan Toney. Now, a lot of people won't want Toney, and I can understand why you wouldn't want him. He's a troublemaker, gambler.
Is he in Saudi right now?
Yeah, he's in Saudi. He's not going to come back. He's on 400 grand a week at Saudi. Then you've got, we've been linked with Mitrovic. Again, he's not for us. He's a great bruiser, by the way, but he's not for us. And then you've got, I think, Cesko, I think he scored, am I right in saying 13, Jarvis, something along those lines?
I think total in the Bundesliga, I think we are talking about 21 goals or something like that. A little bit more than 20 in total.
In total? Is that including cup matches and stuff?
I think so.
So maybe 13 actually league goals. So he's not prolific, is he, by any stretch of the imagination? We know he's not prolific.
In the Bundesliga, we are talking about 13 goals, yes.
Yeah, 13. So we were right, yeah. So he's not prolific. But there is that Vivel link, isn't there? And apparently Sorry, I have to have a giggle at that, Jarvis. I only want Manchester United. Yeah, whatever. I mean, fuck off. You know? Although it would be quite funny if we did get him and we beat Newcastle. Newcastle will be crying their eyes out. Ekatike, Isak, and Cesko in one window. Fucking hell. You would absolutely. Romano's come out, by the way, and said that Cesko, Manchester United are very, very serious, and I agree with Jamie. You got to act now. If you're going to do that, you've got to. He is Yala. People again they kind of laugh about Mitrovic, but he scores goals whether we like it or not. He scores goals.
In the championship, I must say, he
was prolific.
Well, yeah. When we scored, how many goals did he score for Fulham? I think we'd be talking about 35 to 40 goals.
In the championship, he was the top scorer on 42.
Yeah, that's
I think it's a record.
Incredible number.
But he wasn't great in the Premier League, but he did score about 16, didn't he, in his last season, I think, something along those lines. Not bad. What's massively important to me is if you go to Cesko and we've got a slightly different version of Højlund at this point in time. We'll know more at on Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, whenever it is, to see how he does again, how he kicks on again. It's a difficult thing to do. Xerxes, young, Cesko, young, Højlund, young. Would we be better off by going in for Watkins, trying to do it, as Cass says, with Garnacho, doing some kind of swap or some kind of military swap that doesn't actually swap, and we don't know money changes hands, and getting experience. Because let's face it, Cesko doesn't go into the guaranteed bracket. Watkins goes into the guarantee of 15. 100%. Cesko doesn't, and there's your difference. So you are buying. Oh, and the other thing is, by the way, Watkins comes out the over 25 category, doesn't he, in terms of his age? But you do buy. Yeah. But you are buying 15, 16 goals a season. Now, I think we all know, we are going to do a little bit about the game last night, guys, in a while. But we all know the way that Cunha started to rotate and really push us on with his pressing and his dribbling ability and his dynamism. He was very direct as well. Somebody like Watkins will thrive off that. But then with Isak, by the way, I'm just saying.
We are, by the way, on 49 likes.
Thank you.
I know, guys, you can do better. Please, at least get us to 50. When they comes in and say we need an experienced striker, we have no development plan to get younger players to improve. We need a senior player who the young strikers can learn from, and that's what you were saying, Stu, and Wendy also make a great point. So, for me, I'm torn when it comes to Cesko. I've seen some clips when you look at his YouTube compilations. He looks like a massive striker, but 13 goals in the Bundesliga, it also tells a story. So I wouldn't count on him scoring 15 goals in the Premier League next season if we sign him. But I agree with you, Stu. 15 goals from Watkins, yes, 100% he will do that in this Man United team. And when you think of it, 15 from Watkins, 15 from Cunha, 15 from Mbeumo, you're talking 45 goals. Then you add 15 goals from Bruno and Ahmad, and from the rest of the team. Then we are talking about 65 goals. It definitely put us in the top 5 again. With
100%, which is what we want. So, Watkins guarantees you 15 to 16 goals. Guarantees it.
I agree.
He really is. Cesko doesn't. It's massively. I don't know about Cesko. Look, if Havel wants him, and he makes a business case to the board, then it looks like you will go for Havel. I want more of an interesting season for me, but an interesting striker. I don't know. There's strikers always divide opinion. They always have done and always will do. There are certain strikers that have moved teams. Fernando Torres being one, was absolute dynamite for Liverpool, couldn't hit a barn door for Chelsea. Still goes down as one of the glaringest misses of all time at Old Trafford, doesn't he? When he rounded, I can't remember who he rounded now, which keeper he was in, but anyway. he missed it by an open goal. So, look, we need people to stick the ball in the back of the net. Whoever that person is, we must do it.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting behind on the chat. You guys are putting in so many
yeah,
messages.
Sorry, they're absolutely flying.
The...
Yeah, absolutely flying through. Look, there's a lot of really good, interesting things from the comments. They're talking about Watkins' average over 3 years being 9 goals over a 3-year period per season, which is fine. But that's 6 more goals than Højlund popped in Premier League goals last season. So we're already up on that. On that logic, a bit good logic. Mitrovic again. Vlahovic doesn't get in the Serbian team, does he?
Serbian team. Yeah.
Mitrovic is their number 1. So it's absolutely massively interesting. There's a lot of Cesko fans out there. I think if you look at football fans in total, they've always thought of Cesko as this particular player. But we've been linked with him for about 4 seasons. He's 22 now. I'm sure we were linked with him when he was 18, 19, something along those lines.
We've been linked to him for a long time. I know this. But when it comes to Cesko, I have to say I'm torn when it comes to him. I'm not saying he's a bad striker.
Apologies. Sorry, I thought it was goal. Sorry, I misread your message. Sorry, Magnifico. Thanks for.
Okay, so he scored a total of 21 goals last season, as I was saying. Yeah. So it's not all bad. He's a prolific goal scorer, but we're not talking about 30, 40 goals as Ugarte or other strikers. I don't
think Ugarte scores anywhere past 20, 21 goals this season as well. That's in all competitions. Mitrovic, yeah, absolutely. I cry out, Cass, as you well know, for a bit of aggression in our side, and he does that. So it's going to be an interesting week. I think Manchester United want to do something this week. Either removing people.
Arokadare, Genk, 20 million, goal top scorer in Belgium last season. Big guy. I thought
he'd been sold, hadn't he?
No, he's still on the market, I believe.
I thought he'd been sold. He's about 6'6", and he's 6'4".
Yeah, he's a tall, big guy. So it will be something, but it will be too big of a risk to take at this moment. As we know, the structure in Ineos, we have talked about. Even Amorim said we want players that we can count on, reliable players.
Yeah. Jules, good to see you, pal. Thanks for joining us, mate. Is Cesko one of those hype machines? Well, this is the 64
jury's still out.
Yeah, jury's still out. Yeah. Jamie's in with a statement. Stu, look what Liverpool are doing. Why can't we out like that? I agree. They're a very, very well-run football club. They've proven that over the last 4 years, but they spent nothing last summer. So they've got last summer's money and this summer's money. So that's why they can spend. What's it likely to be if he goes for 120, $500 million, just shy of something like that? It's going to be a ridiculous amount. But again, don't forget they just sold Diaz for 68 million quid. So that's going to come into the coffers. They're a very, very well-run club. We're just not one, I think.
Here's one for you, Joe. Heading of the ball. Name me one thing. He's a tall guy. He must be able to head the ball, win aerials, at least.
Well, you would hope so. But we've seen, haven't we? We've seen, some solid centre halves that are going to bully you. He's got to be able to bully them. So I don't know. Again, Cesko is always one that's divided opinion, even with me. Me and Jarvis has never really, we've hardly spoken about him because I don't think he's really one that we would absolutely get excited about, is he?
But it could be Leipzig and how the way they play, because when you look at his heat map, it's more of a number 10. He drops down, he's in the half spaces all the time. So maybe in the Man United system, he will thrive. And I don't know this because then you have to be really detailed when it goes into his stats. If he suits the system, I don't know right now, I have to say. But he could be.
He could be a system player, though, couldn't he?
He could.
He could be a system player. One sec, I'll just stick this off.
No problem. I just want to say, do as Jules says, hit the like, guys, please, please. And we have Bernard Ugarte coming in. Big up, Bernard. Good to see you. And a lot of people have tuned in already. So I want to go to the next topic. There's been we're talking about midfielders, and the first report is this coming in from Turkey. We talked about this the other day. But there were some new reports today coming in, and the reports were Man United are interested in Galatasaray midfielder Gabriel Sara. And
Sara.
when it comes to Sara, I watched some compilations. I watched his stat. We broke down his FB refereeables, his heat map.
Yes.
He looks like a really, really good player.
He looks like Frank Rijkaard.
Yes, also.
That moustache. He's got that Rijkaard moustache. It's not as full-bodied as the Rijkaard moustache, but
it looks like Frank Rijkaard. I agree. But as a player, I like it. He's two-footed. He's very elegant on the ball. He's creative.
Looks it, doesn't he? Yeah.
But he's a number 8. He's the guy who can drop down or he can support the 2 10s. So for me, I think it's a no-brainer. I would just go right away and sign him. And we are talking about something in between 16 to 26 million euros.
He's looking at, I think it was 30 million euros, 26 million quid.
Yes, yes,
he's
you're right.
Interesting.
You're right.
But then there was the resurgence of Mr. Mainoo last night, wasn't there? That pleased everybody, and the resurgence of Mr. Ugarte, which again pleased everybody last night.
This is why I'm mentioning this. Are we in the lookout for a midfielder? Because today also this came up, Kobbie, Mainoo, and there are some Premier League rivals inquire about Kobbie Mainoo, and the club we are talking about is Spurs. It's Thomas Frank, who is a big admirer of Kobbie Mainoo. They are inquiring, but where are we in a position for Kobbie Mainoo? Do we want to keep him or do we want to sell him?
Well, I think he stays unless Manchester United are looking at from a PSR point of view. From a monetary standpoint, if it's Kobbie Mainoo for whatever, does that allow us to go in for a player that they want? I think you keep Mainoo and you bring in Sara. You keep Mainoo, and as Bruno over the next 2 or 3 years moves himself out of the team, then you keep those rocking up. So I think keeping Mainoo would be great. Adding Sara, I think Jamie's right. I think our bench is horrendous. So adding Sara to it adds the strength in depth. And I think that's what we desperately need. I think we all know up to 65 minutes we were comfortable last night against West Ham, and then all the raft of changes, and you always get problems when you change so many players. There's always going to be issues. So I do think we need a stronger bench, and I would advocate bringing in Sara anyway. We did this heat map, and he looked brilliant. He was perfect for me. But then again, I did see.
I think that was Hjulman, but Sara is more left-sided.
He's more, but I think he's a good player. I think I did see again that we were really interested in Douglas Luiz. So.
Gregory Burke comes in and say, did the club really make a bid for Antony? We are talking about Al-Nassr. Was it Al-Nassr? Yeah, I think it was. Al-Nassr. According to a Brazilian outlet, some other reports saying they have make a bid, but United wants 50 million. I don't know what the bid is. The report didn't say, but it say that Man United, that Al-Nassr made a bid for Antony. That's the only thing we know so far. So
Gregory,
is
Gregory new, by the way? If you're new to the channel, Gregory, you're very welcome, mate. Please let us know.
But if you go back 10 minutes, we have made the Antony discussion. So Johnny Commode come in and say Mainoo will stay. I think he's one of for the future and will develop. He will sign a new contract. I think him and Ugarte in midfield could work well.
I think he stays. I do, but I would add Sara. I would add a midfielder for sure.
Yes, and I think this is a good way to talk about the game, because I think Kobbie Mainoo was
the segue.
The best. Great segue, because
Yeah.
yesterday's game was a very interesting game. We won the game 2-1 against West Ham. Bruno Fernandes scored 2 goals, and Gerard Bowen scored 1 for West Ham. I think the game was interesting up until the 65th minute. Then we made too many subs, and was basically just a mess when it comes to team and setup. And
yeah, he said he was going to do that, didn't he? That to me though stated that I think maybe you remove Ahmad and you put on Boomer. I think that's going to be close to our starting 11. I would say against Arsenal. Maybe Heaven comes out, and perhaps Luke Shaw goes in. I don't know.
So I want to talk about the game, and first of all, Stu, can I get your instant reaction? What did you feel after the game? How did you see Man United play? Were there any surprises, or was it as expected in the new Amorim setup?
Yeah, loads of surprises, really. First and foremost, how big do we look? For a start, did you recognise Dorgu immediately? It's like, fucking hell. He is huge. Dorgu has completely changed his body shape. Yoro's body shape's changed. Delict was a lot slimmer, more beefy. We've changed. Whatever they did over the summer, they've completely changed their dynamics of their bodies and the way that we look. So we look a unit. We look a powerful team. Then again, it's not really difficult because we look weak as fuck last season. We now look powerful. Højlund looks really strong, big, strong, powerful. And I'll tell you what I did notice, and I said to you, I didn't see Amorim's system at all in action. I just saw a bunch of players who really wanted to play football. They were doing their best to read the game during the game and make tactical decisions themselves during the game, which is not done before. We made so many mistakes tactically. There was a couple of issues for me. I said to you, I thought Heaven didn't have his finest game, and I stand by that. I thought he was okay, but he didn't have his finest game, and it proves our goalkeeping department is woeful. If we can't go into the first game against Arsenal relying on Buendia between the posts, because he just doesn't cover me with any sense of comfort whatsoever. But actually, the rest of the game, the way that we tried to play football, really impressed me. I thought our close control was better than it's been. There was no passes that really went astray. There's the odd one or two from Cunha. There's the odd one or two from Bruno, Mainoo. But I thought when we attacked, we attacked with a structure that we've not seen before. I thought when we defended with a structure that we have seen before, because we weren't bad overall defensively last season. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. The amount of times we spoke about that was really sorry, I forgot about Bindy's masterclass at Arsenal. I do respect that. You're absolutely right. Magnificent. So I was really, but there's a couple of big issues for me. And myself and Jarvis picked it up at instantaneous because we were both sending messages at the same time, talking about the same thing. So I'll let you talk about that, Jarvis, and that's the Cunha Bruno conundrum.
Yeah, I just want to say hi to Rich, Red Devils United guys. If you haven't, go subscribe to his channel. Brilliant channel. He do content every day, every morning, every night. So it's a great channel if you want to stay updated on the latest news. Big up, Rich. I hope you're well. And also it's Timmy coming in. I just want to say hi to Timmy. I want to say hi to the regulars tuning in. It's always good to see you guys. And when it comes to the game, let me bring up the tactical board and we can talk.
It's back.
I know you guys missed it, so let's just bring it up. So here you see the team yesterday, and there were some concerns. There were some positives. I would say Graham Potter was the manager of West Ham. He set up in a 3-4-3 formation, or maybe you can call it a 3-4-2-1. I don't know. It's modern numerical tactic setups. But how I saw it when we tried to build up, because in the first 5 minutes we tried to build up once, and it ended up Heaven losing the ball and West Ham created a half chance. After
chance,
that,
yeah.
we stopped. We basically stopped because the pitch was terrible. It was dusk dry. It was terrible pitch to play on.
Do you know what the problem was with the pitch, Jarvis? Sorry. Do you know what the problem was?
No.
It was it was a mixture of grass and 50% grass, 50%
Artificial grass. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a terrible pitch. Absolutely
Terrible.
shocking pitch.
And we know this every time we go to New York or to the States, we play on terrible pitches. And I can't understand why we do this. We at least should set the standards for what the pitch should be. These are Premier League players worth millions of pounds. Why would you risk an injury playing on a dry pitch? That's terrible. And you can
no giving it.
Yeah, so I want to say in defense of West Ham, they tried to play out. They followed Graham Potter's plan. We didn't. We tried to play out the first 5 minutes, then we stopped. Then we start playing it long and direct. But we found a way to lure West Ham high up the pitch because our wingbacks dropped really deep when Bayindir was on the ball. So automatically they filled on with people high up the pitch. So there were a space in the middle of the pitch where you see Mainoo, Højlund, Cunha, and Bruno around the center circle. So in a way, it worked itself out for us anyway. But I don't think this is the Amorim plan, how he wants to play. I think the way he wants to play. I think he wants to do the wing wide centre backs going wide and pushing De Ligt up in the central with Ugarte and Bayindir as the third centre back. So we have options all the time. But we didn't see that yesterday. And I also think it's because Bayindir is shaky on the ball. But we start playing it direct. We played it long. And we had combative midfielders, Ugarte and Mainoo especially. They won the ball all the time. And the ball also stuck with Højlund when we played it long. And Cunha, even Bruno, won a lot of duels. So that was a positive for me. But I will also say in defense of West Ham, I think they are a little bit further behind us when it comes to preseason. They looked heavy in the legs.
10 days behind us, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. I wouldn't read too much into it. So what I'm looking for is shapes, structure, and style of play.
Yeah. So while you're talking about that, Cass mentioned. Sorry, Cass, I will pick it up, but here we go. And he's got a point here. We still lack control and constant possession of the game of regular patterns, and I totally agree.
Yeah,
we didn't see a Amorim type system, Amorim ball, if that's what you want to call it, or whatever. That's why I was saying they tended to look at themselves tactically this time and make tactical decisions as individuals. And I think that's good because you need that. In tight games, particularly, you need that. And that's what got us 2-0 up, to be honest. And you're right. They went long on more than one occasion, Bayindir, and it shocked probably most of us that were watching because we're expecting this ticky-tacky play out from the back. So it demonstrated to me that Amorim has maybe given them a little bit of license to play as individuals, but to stick within a basic format of what he wants. And that's how I looked at it. I think you're right about West Ham. I think they were 100% tired. They were distracted, distressed, for sure. Yeah. I think they got there later than Manchester United. I think we were there a few days before West Ham. I think they came later. I think they came after us. So I think you're right. I think they looked distressed. They got one or two nice players in there. Bowen in particular, I thought shone a little bit for West Ham.
Bowen, yeah, always.
But at the back, Kilman, I mean, it looked like he was running in treacle. Højlund was 2 yards behind him and finished 2 yards ahead of him before he got his shot off. So he was looking like he was running in treacle a little bit. But I thought our touch was more assured than it's been before. Our big test, because Bournemouth destroyed Everton, our big test will be Thursday morning or whatever it is. I think it's 2:30 Thursday morning, isn't it? When we come out, we play Bournemouth.
Yeah, and Donna Iraola, he's known to set up a hard-working team. They will come fit and ready to fight, even in preseason. And, I think that will be a different different challenge compared to this West Ham team, and everybody got to understand when it comes to the. I'm not critical to Amorim. I'm just saying what I'm seeing, and I'm not reading too much into this. I think a lot of Man United fans, I look at a lot of Man United channels, and I also feel that we as fans get a little bit giddy when we look at this game and feel that we are further ahead than we actually are. We are even at the place where we can accept Højlund as the striker just because he had a good first half, and I'm not at that place.
Yeah. I tell you what I did notice, though. I did notice on a couple of occasions. I'll be interested to see what the devilish tacticos.
Okay.
I felt the biggest one of the areas that I was concerned about at the beginning, Bruno's reluctance to release the ball to Cunha on occasions. It was only 2 or 3 times. It wasn't all the time. There was a reluctance. 100%. I don't know if there's a trust in there or not. So he was going across to Dorgu. I thought Dorgu was excellent down the left, if I'm being honest. The biggest worry for me was Heaven was caught out of position way too much. But I'm going to give you, Jarvis did pick up on Dorgu not really coming back to help Heaven.
When Heaven was on the ball, Dorgu was bombing up
exactly right
here and pushing Wan-Bissaka far back. But he wasn't an option on the outside. So actually the opportunities for Heaven to play was always inside, and West Ham was really compact, when they were defending. So he didn't have a lot of options, and that's why he looked a little bit sloppy, in my opinion. So, but Dorgu didn't do anything wrong, and Heaven didn't do anything wrong. It's just a matter of timing, and this is what you get in pre-season.
Yeah, in pre-season. What happened though was Heaven's positional sense deserted him last night. I've never seen that happen, by the way, for Heaven. I think we'd all agree Heaven's positional sense has been one of the strongest points of his game. It's one of the better parts of his game. When you actually look at the Bowen goal, did you notice where Heaven was? He was more central.
He went too, he tucked in too much.
It was too late by the time the ball had gone out to Bowen. And the Bowen's strength's coming in on his left foot or his right foot. And he gave Benedict no chance. But I'm not going to eat Heaven's lunch over it. I'm not. I think he just
Heaven did well. I'm not critical. I think it's just pre-season. You see this. You're not 100% in position.
It just wasn't quite there, was he? But on the flip side of it, I thought Yoro was excellent. I thought Yoro had a really solid game. I thought De Ligt was good.
Offensively, I think he was.
I was impressed with Ugarte's position. And where did Ugarte play, Jarvis? Where have I been crying out for Ugarte to play? He played a central. Yeah. And that's where he should be. And he played centrally and allowed Bruno that space, didn't it? I thought Cunha, once they'd sorted themselves out, Cunha and Bruno, I thought it was a different game. Once Bruno allowed Cunha to have that space, and as you quite rightly said, Cunha at one point, Bruno was bumping shoulders with Cunha and bumping shoulders with Mainoo, when really, if he was away from Cunha and Mainoo could drag the player out and allow Bruno the space he wants. But he wasn't doing that at the beginning. Second half, I thought we were a little bit better. But I agree with you. People always say, and I was always baffled with it, actually, because pre-season's only, or your holiday is only about 4 weeks, and then you're back. So the last time you kick a ball in anger, you've only really got 4 weeks, and then you're back training and you're doing work within the period. It's for whatever reason you have 4 weeks out of football and you just lose it. Your whole body forgets what it, your muscle memory forgets what you're supposed to be doing on the pitch. And I think that's all Heaven was his problem. Also, Jarvis, when you're up against Bowen, he's a live wire, constant live wire.
Bowen is a very intelligent player. Very intelligent player, and he's really good on the ball. He has good technique. He's strong. He has the right instincts. So, we talked about this many of times. Bowen is a guy I think we should have signed many years ago, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. So I was worried about Ahmad last night. Again, Jarvis, you picked up that Bruno's issue moving in around. We stopped the ball going to Ahmad. Whether that was a West Ham thing or whether that was our issue, it's difficult to say. But Ahmad just couldn't get into the game.
Yeah,
Not good enough for me.
how I see it, Stu, I think it's a little bit about when we played out. As I said, we dropped our wing backs really deep to trick West Ham to press high, and we played it direct, for example, into Bruno. But Ahmad didn't have enough time to get up in position. And Bruno, we know Bruno, he's like a loose cannon sometimes, not criticizing Bruno. He had a good game, he scored 2 goals.
Twice, yeah, exactly.
But sometimes he just looked for the first move and the movement of Højlund. He looked for Højlund all the time, or Cunha. So we had 2 runners and even Dorgu, but he didn't have time to get Ahmad into the game. So the first half, you didn't see much of Ahmad, and I think it's because of Bruno's directness. And, I'm not a Bruno criticism, but, I'm just explaining what type of player he is, because people say Bruno should maybe play in the 8 because he's a playmaker, he's a type of maestro, he can set the tempo. But for me, I don't think Bruno can set the tempo of the game. He always look for the creative stuff, runs in behind, and when I'm talking about setting tempo of the game, it's about dictating the whole team, how the whole team acts in defense and into attack. Bruno is not that player. He connects really well with runners, people who are on the receiving end of progressive passes. That's where his strength is. But he's not the type of playmaker, not the Busquets, not the Vitinha, not the Rodri type of player. So for me, I think Bruno needs to develop this type of instinct sometimes, because it bothers me sometimes when I see Bruno. He runs around the pitch and sometimes he stops and holds out the arm like he's dictating the tempo of the game, but actually he's not. He's just slowing it down for everybody. And sometimes he just hurries it up and hoof it in behind. And, he's great, but, he's not that type of player. So sometimes I wish that Bruno stopped doing this, holding up his arm and trying to dictate the tempo of the game, because he's not.
Right. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I'm going to go one step further as well, not with Bruno, but I'm going to say that one of Ahmad's problems was Yoro. And hear me out, because I'm not going to go at Yoro, because that's not what I'm saying. But Mazzari in place of Yoro in place of Heaven, a bit more balanced, and you would have seen Bruno Ahmad come to life a bit more, because Mazzari uses and utilises Ahmad really, really. So I think it'd be absolutely great to see the impact that Mazzari and Mbumo can have on the team when he plays at Everton a week on Saturday. So for me, that's only a small thing. Coming back to Bruno, I tend to go beyond Bruno. I think Mainoo and Ugarte, I think everyone's absolutely right to sing Ugarte's praises last night. Cass said, could he be a modern day Robbo as an 8-8? Really interesting question. I'd like to see him try that, but at the moment I'm happy that we've got a 6 who knows how to play a 6. Could Mainoo do that? If I was Mainoo, I'd be looking at making myself a holding midfield player, to be brutally honest with you. I love his skill, but I think he's such an intelligent player. I think you're right. I think having Mainoo in there and Bruno's inability, and I'm going to go at Bruno as well, to read the game occasionally, read the room, what's happening with the game. What do I need to do to influence the team more? He's not quite there yet. But then, on the other hand, he pops in 2 goals. Great penalty and a wonderful strike.
Yes.
But again,
I have to applaud Bruno for that. I'm as I say, I'm not taking a dig at Bruno. I'm explaining how I see him as a player.
It's an interesting thing, Jarvis. The play was broken up by Mainoo into Bruno and the goal.
Yes.
The justification of them all in there is correct, isn't it? Mainoo and Bruno. So they're showing their different strengths. So really interesting. Until Mbumo plays, I don't know, and it'll be clear to me.
I don't know where Bruno is going to play.
Exactly right. Yeah, I think so. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but we did say it 2 weeks ago, Jarvis, and if we could clip it and bring it up, because I said to you, the biggest conundrum will be Bruno in this in this team, because I think Ugarte is nailed on, and I think Bruno's going to be the issue one.
So I just want to speak 2 seconds about Ugarte, because the problem, as I said today, we play direct. We stopped trying to zigzag from one side to the other side. We just played to the wide centre back to Baindi, for example, and then we played it long to Bruno or to Cunha or to Højlund. But if we want to control the game, we want to dictate the game, then we need a ball playing number 8, number 6, who can receive the ball and turn with the ball under pressure. And I don't see Ugarte as that type of player. He's a kind of player, he can make things tick. He's good at short passing, playing one touch, 1-2s, but not turning with the ball and driving with it into space. So I'm not quite sure on Ugarte yet. He could have evolved and become that player, but I'm not sure if he's the right type. And this is where I'm coming to the segue of I think it was J United who left a comment in, and we talked about the central number 8. No, this one. Jarvis, looking at the current formation on the board, I expect the number 8 to be the tempo dictator, to be honest, mate. And that's what I'm talking about. This is the player, Kobbie Mainoo. And what he did, as you mentioned, Stu, he sets the tempo. Every time he receives the ball, you have to hold the ball onto the ball long enough for people to get in positions. And that's so vital in football. It's not about rushing things, but you can't take it too slow. You can't play it back. You have to be able, under pressure, to receive the ball, hold on to it, let people get into position, and then you release. This is what the best players in the world are doing. When we talk about Busquets, Vitinha, Rodri, you name it. And Mainoo, what I saw yesterday. What that type of player, the guy who can dictate the tempo of the game. And that was what Mainoo was doing yesterday. He was actually dictating the play.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. What they've got, though, Busquets and that, it's not an ability. It's a Xavi. If Iniesta was got the ball and he's moving in like Mainoo, Xavi would be covering 9. He'd be standing slightly off of 9, so that 9 couldn't go in and confront Mainoo. So the Mainoo's got a glide path, a free area, and we don't do that enough. So you play 5-a-side. Most people play 5-a-side, 7-a-side, 6-a-side, or anything like that. One of the big things about winning the ball back is when a player's got the ball, stopping somebody getting across to him. It's the biggest thing in 5-a-side, because if you can do that, you then afford an extra 2 or 3 yards to the player with the ball carrier. And we just don't do that enough. We never do. Rodri's quite good at getting into a space, that kind of zonal area to make, just to cover a quick run when he needs to. And then Ugarte started to do that for me last night, Jarvis. He wasn't as far up all the time.
No.
So the goal that was disallowed, he came in quickly, didn't he? Bang, bang, hit him, and got rid. That's what a great 6 does. And he's in my favourite position for a 6. He did it centrally. He pushed up, he saw what was happening, he did it centrally. So you're absolutely right. So the way that we tried to play last night was I'm going to go with single pivot. And I hate the pivot anyway, as you well know. We're going to go with the single pivot with the license from Mainoo to do what he went out and he did last night. And that was further play. And that's why they didn't necessarily swarm us too much, because Ugarte was covering that area, and he was a little bit better getting across the ground than what he's been. But I did see Amarin say, by the way, I just want to address one quick thing you did say. You did say, and this comes back to what I was saying right at the very beginning of this piece, was that, can Ugarte take the ball and turn and twist and make the movements? No, I don't think he can. And I think you'll see us play less and less from the back and a little bit more using Dorgu and Ahmad as your outlets rather than De Ligt. So if you can push Dorgu slightly up to, and Ahmad slightly up to the edge of the box, that rectangle, and then you've got Binder, so a little bit further up on both. So you see the edge of the box, a bit back, bit further back.
Okay, yeah, here.
Yeah. So when the goalkeeper's got it, he can lob it out to Dorgu, or he can lob it out to Anna or Mbumu, and that's where you start the transition play. Rather than, so you could see 3 types of transition play. You go, Anana goes long to Højlund, 1. 2, flow out to the wing backs. That's Dorgu and Ahmad, or Dorgu and Mbumu. Or 3, Amarin's favoured system, which is into De Ligt into a guy, that one. I think you'll see 3 times. I think for the first time we'll be able to mix our play.
But I also liked how we set up. We talked about being staggered all the time, and De Ligt, he moved up. He was he had a really good game yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
He was great. Into the DM role a lot of time. He was high up the pitch and he was involved in the game. So this is what I like. And you have to be massive, combative, and you could see it. He wasn't afraid to move up and fight high up the pitch with a lot of space in behind. And you don't see this with Maguire. You see Maguire sometimes move up just to press on the players that's turned the wrong way, but De Ligt wasn't afraid to go man to man, really high up the pitch, and being combative.
Really interesting point. And again, you're absolutely 100%. The problem we've got with De Ligt and Maguire is they're not very technically very good. I know Maguire, when he's up top, he can turn and he can he can make defenders look like idiots, but it's a different story when you're actually doing that in front of your own goal as opposed to the opposition goal. So actually, I agree with you. I think De Ligt played the central area very, very well. Thought him and Ugarte were great together, but he's not quite that technical player that you would want. So he's not like a John Stones. We know John Stones could come out, couldn't he, from the centre half and play. We know that Van Dijk, hate the bastard, but he can kind of make something happen there, can't he? But John Stones has got Rodri, as we know. And, of course, they got McAllister, haven't they, at Liverpool?
But as I said, so you have to be combative. You have to be able to go into the physical duels. You don't have to be thinking of the spacing behind all the time and be afraid. You just have to take the duel right there and then and be on your striker, win the duel and move on, and that's what he did yesterday.
Yeah, no, he was great. He played the basics of defence really, really well. But if Amarin wants to utilise him there, he hasn't quite got the Gabriel or Saliba type play, has he? But they've got Declan Rice in front, haven't they? So that's the only thing I'm comparing them to. And they've got reasonable goalkeepers behind them, whereas we got 2 clowns. So, but you're absolutely right. But I thought Ugarte was great last night. Mainly brilliant.
He was, yeah.
In his defense. I think we should talk about Højlund.
Yes, we can start by showing his big chance from yesterday. It's been a while since we've done some live footage. I'm apologize for the quality, MUTV, but it is what it is. We won the ball. I think it's number 13. Who was that? Was it Dorgu? Is it Dorgu? Wins the ball.
Yeah, look at the size of him, by the way.
And Bruno, 1 touch. This is what Bruno does best. Look at him. Yeah. He knows already, and Højlund is way behind Kilman.
That's Kilman.
But he has an extra gear. He puts on the afterburner, as some said. And what I like when you see Højlund, he takes his arm in front of Kilman and uses his body.
Yeah.
Again, he takes control on Kilman and then shoots.
I want to tell you something about what Højlund actually did there.
Okay.
He went 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
He shot on the 3rd shot. 1, to get his balance, i.e. Kilman, off me. 2nd, to set myself up. 3rd, do you know what the slight issue was? I thought the second movement of the ball was too slightly not the best, and that's why I don't think he got the angle right. But I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Strength, power, accuracy, because he hit the bar By the way, it's worth remembering that from a great. But if you watch again,
the next search,
first, second, just couldn't get quite. It wasn't far enough ahead for him to roll onto it. So it was almost a little bit. It wasn't behind him, but he didn't have enough real depth to strike. But it was brilliant play, but a good strike.
Stu, you're a centre back. You know how it is when you play against a big guy who's actually quicker than you, who can outpace you.
I'll tell you exactly what I would have done. Drop it back. I'll tell you exactly what I would have done.
Okay. Yeah, here.
See where he is there, Kilman?
Yeah.
Now watch as because he can hear Højlund coming. Kilman's looking at the ball. He's not looking at Højlund, but he knows where he is. As it goes on, that I would have come across. I'd have been already across. I would have taken the free kick. I know his last man, but I would have just elbowed him and shoulder barged him, and he would have got away with it because it's just pure physicality and speed, and that's what I would have done. He wouldn't have got the ball. Once he'd done it, Kilman was in a world of pain. Once he got it there, Kilman was in a world of pain. He was off guard. He was off balance. He was never going to get there in a million years. And it was a great strike. I am not, to be fair, I've not seen anybody say it was a bad effort, because I'd take it. I'd say no. You've got to understand where Højlund was last year. That was completely night and day, that strike. So look at the strike. He's taken it early. He knew he wouldn't get past Kilman again. Kilman had got himself sorted by now. And it's a fabulous strike. I mean, the keeper had no chance.
I always wish he scored on that goal. It would be massive for his confidence for the rest of the preseason and going into the next season. I think he need a goal. He need a good performance. But
could have clipped it. Yeah, sorry, Magnifico says you could have clipped it. I agree. Yeah, you could have done it. But I think he was focusing on, and he's not done that before. He was always on his fourth touch when he got the shot. I think he was focusing on his position with his feet to get the strike out, and he hit it beautiful. I think he needed a little bit, maybe a couple more inches, and he would have got a better strike and he would have scored. He couldn't just wrap his foot around it enough. But brilliant effort, in my opinion, anyway. I thought it was a great effort.
Being super, super critical.
Yeah.
He's has more pace than Kilman. Shouldn't he just gone in front of him and force Kilman to just clip him?
So as I said to you that if I was Kilman, I'd have had him a little bit earlier. It's the same thing for Højlund. Try and get in front of Kilman. So Kilman's almost behind you, and what the best you can hope for is that he either takes you out with a tangle of feet, or he won't try, and that's when you get that yard. He could have come across Kilman there. He could have used him.
Yes, contact.
Yeah, use the top of the shoulder, not here. Use the top of your shoulder to aim it in. So you're kind of almost doing that, and it will just give just nudge Kilman up, and then you're in. But look, actually, it's a great strike. I mean, for all intents and purposes, where the ball is now, if that was slightly to the right, it's a route for the net job. Thanks very much. Next, goal. I mean, the keeper had no chance. Kilman, I bet you Kilman thought it was. I bet you Kilman thought that was in. It was a great strike. If the keeper had come out, Sean says good keeping, cut the angle. If he'd come out, then you would have gone for the clip. You'd have tried to clip it.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm wondering whether or not, thinking about it now, whether or not the goalkeeper's angle didn't do Højlund any favours as it happens. But
it was a great finish, and I was surprised. I think Højlund had a good game yesterday. He's on and off. He's a little bit wasted when he receives the ball with the centre back in his back, because he still doesn't know how to separate and get himself that extra yard of space so he can control the ball. You saw a lot of times, doing this when he received the ball and he lost the ball, because he doesn't know how to separate. And it still baffles me when it comes to Højlund, that he can't understand how to push and move. Everybody learns this at a young age, how to separate. It's so important. You learn this when you're 12 playing football.
Yeah, you do.
if the player is on you, push, move, and then you get 1 yard, 2 yards of space. But you still can't do it. I don't know if it's It's probably much more difficult in the Premier League, but it's just me saying.
I mean, Kilman let him off.
Ignorance.
Yeah, Kilman let him off last night because, as I say, you would have gone for him a little bit earlier, even before he got anywhere near the ball. You would have done something winning. But look, at the end of the day, he got in and he got a shot off. What's a striker supposed to do? Get in, hit the target, and he hit the target. And he tell us in, Pete, he got in and he hit the target. Yeah, he hit the post, but he hit the target. So Højlund
Sean makes a good point. When he gets older, he'll pick up.
He will do, yeah.
Savvy aspects. But,
Højlund last year doesn't get his strike off. Last season, he doesn't get his strike off. So, but I thought it was a great effort. Really did.
But on an overall assessment of Højlund, how would you rate this game?
He was 50% better than what we've seen him. But that isn't good enough. You can't be 50%. You've got to be 100% better. You've got to be miles better. But he showed differences in his play yesterday we've not seen before. Not just a willingness to run, but it was a willingness to try and find a position. I thought he was a bit stronger. I thought his hold-up play was better than it's been for a long time. So he's way off the finished target, obviously. But he showed something that we hadn't seen from him. And, Cunha and Mbeumo, Bruno should be able to bring a little bit more out of him if we go into the season as Højlund does on night.
But I would say when it comes to Højlund, we could see him a lot more 1-against-1. He was against Kilman all the time by himself. Yeah. Usually last season we saw him against 2 centre-backs.
Yeah, because he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't moving towards.
Even Bruno binding up one of the 3 centre-backs. So
that's what we said, didn't we? We said they would do that. We said that Mbeumo and Cunha would occupy the centre halves, and I've always said to you, a good striker occupies a centre half. And he did. He looked at Kilman. He thought, right, you're the one. I'm gonna camp out on your doorstep tonight, son, and it's up to you to stop me. Kilman did in many ways, because Højlund didn't score. So, at the end of the day, Kilman would walk off the pitch saying, well, fucking Højlund didn't score. Yeah, he hit the bar, but he didn't score.
It was Todibo was number 7 on West Ham, or
I didn't rate Todibo. He had a bad game. He had a poor game. I don't think he was great, Todibo, at all. Really, I thought Areola was shocking. I mean, fuck. West Ham we think we got problems in goal. They've got issues as well. So I think the real difference, as I said, is that when Cunha and Mbeumo or Bruno, whoever does that, helps Højlund up there, then you're going to see a different type of Højlund. But that different type of Højlund's got to make sure he's getting 15 goals for us next season. If he did, I think we'd all be very, very happy. But he's still way off where we need him to be. And I think that's Amarin's focus. I think that's his thought process. And Kaz has made a point that he thinks that Højlund may be sold, and he realises that, again, that kind of issue. If I was Højlund, I'd quite be happy if another striker came into the club. I think it'd take the pressure off me, put the pressure on that striker, and let me learn. Let me understand. Let me work with 2 or 3 good strikers. That's kind of one of the reasons I don't really want Cesko in, and why you'd rather have Watkins in, because Watkins can demonstrate what he does in the area. Or
the dark arts of Premier League football.
Because he's done it. So, there's strikers out there. Nunes will probably be the next to leave Liverpool, won't he? So, and that's one of the reasons I'm glad we didn't get Ekitike come in. Yeah, because I think didn't make his debut in the 4-2 defeat. Although nobody's talking about Liverpool's 4-2 defeat, are they? If we'd lost last night, there'd have been uproar. By the way, it's worth mentioning, as I'm sure you all know, the World Club Cup didn't sell out the stadium like we did. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Manchester United sell out a friendly 82,500. The World Club Cup final gets 81,500. Brilliant.
Yeah.
You'll love it, haven't you? Absolutely.
That's a massive win for Man United. biggest club in the world.
You just think you can see Infantino going, why don't we put a legacy team in? The greatest. Why don't we put Manchester United in the greatest team on the planet? They would have sold out stadium after stadium after stadium. I mean, fucking hell. The Bournemouth-Everton game, it was half empty stadium.
Yes, it is. And this is why we are Man United. We have fans from all over the world. We are not just based on the New York Stock Exchange, and the Glazers needs to realize this pretty quick. We need a winning team. We need to get into the game.
Yeah. Again, I'll tell you something. Actually, Jay makes a great point, and I know nobody wants Vardy and his legs are gone, but just imagine having him in the dressing room.
We talked about this too. I'm not a big fan, but I get what you're saying.
I'm not a fan of Vardy. Get him in the dressing room now. He'd probably get you 6 goals, by the way. He would.
You think so? 6 goals?
Fucking easy.
Okay.
Easy. Yeah, easy. If he stayed fit for a season, half a season, nobody wants him, by the way. And I get it. I do. I understand it. But you can't tell me that Højlund couldn't learn from the likes of Vardy. By the way, I know how to score in the Premier League. I've done it for, the bulk of my career. I'm a Premier League winner, by the way. Check that medal. Where's yours? Bruno, where's your medal?
Yes, pedigree.
Yeah, where's yours?
Turn Vardy into our next striker coach.
Well, look, why not? Why not? Whether people like him or not, it is an irrelevance. What can he do is the question. You don't like him. None of us likes him. We don't. None of us likes Vardy. But he's the only one that could polish my medal, put it on my chest, and walk into Old Trafford at 37 years old.
By the way, there are some reports from Rasmus. He said there were people at the game last night, and there was only about 50,000 people there. No idea where the info of 84,000 come from. And this is from people who actually were at the game. So no, I don't know. I didn't know that, Rasmus. Yeah,
that was a report anyway, isn't it? That was a report anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. I want to talk about the next segment, and it's about press play. Yesterday's game was quite good when it comes to the pressing game. I think West Ham struggled because they tried to play out from the back, and as I said, the pitch was terrible. It was dry. The ball didn't move quick enough, and they struggled. But the Pentagon press shape formation worked good. And also with the staggered midfield, we weren't in a exact Pentagon as this, 5
No, we weren't.
Ugarte was a little bit behind all the time, and Mainoo was more centrally behind. So when Mainoo was the press trigger, let's say the ball went out to Debo or Wan-Bissaka, Mainoo was the press trigger, and Ugarte was right behind him. And I liked that. I liked how they worked together as a double pivot, but also the aggressiveness of the wingbacks. They were always ready to push, and they weren't alone because behind them we had the wide centre backs and De Ligt by himself centrally. Before Ugarte pushed, they were 2, but when Mainoo went, Ugarte went. So De Ligt was 1 against 1, but he was combative. He could do that job. So I liked what I saw in our press play. We didn't win the ball all the time, but we a lot of the time forced West Ham to play it long, because when they try to play back, they get heavy in behind, and they played it long, and we won the ball and put them on the siege. So I think the press play worked really well yesterday, and that was one of the biggest positives, how we actually worked the Pentagon shape and the aggressive wingbacks. Did you pick up on that, Stu?
I did. I thought it was, again, I thought it was more individual than collective.
Okay.
There was a recognition of players where to be, and that hasn't happened before. Before we were a little bit sporadic in our pressing. we're a little bit, not uniformed in our pressing. I thought we were very uniform last night, in as much as we were trying to follow the pattern of the play against us and trying to stop the pattern of the play developing against us. And I think we did that quite well. But it wasn't a particular, if you look at that, how you had it, it wasn't a particularly great representation, of the Amarin system that was. And this is why I think you're going to see a triple whammy when it comes to the way that we play.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll mix it up in games as well, from going long, short, and medium, i.e., wings, De Ligt, and Højlund, that type of thing. I think you're going to see a triple whammy, and I think that's going to be our ingredient that's going to stifle a lot of oppositions, because they'll be expecting us to play at the back of the Amarin system, and we're going to go directly out to Dorgu, and before we know it, we're fucking 2-3 men down, or we're 3 men up on
over, and
we're 3 men up on the opposition. And here's the funny thing: we've done it before. We've done it under Ollie. Ollie used to utilise the wing backs more. Luke Shaw against Man City, for City weren't expecting it. Henderson lobs it out to Shaw on the halfway line. Shaw goes, we score. City are like, wait, fuck. We went long. We mixed it up in the FA Cup, and we beat them in the final. We beat them. We beat them at home by mixing it up. Guardiola didn't know what to do with it. Yeah. In the second half, we went back to normal, and that's how City got back into the game. But the first half, they couldn't cope with us.
Well, you have to give it to Pep. He changed up his system also, putting in...
he had no choice. And then we did revert back to normal in the second half, and, City came back into it. So we didn't know, and if we do that, if we make ourselves unpredictable rather than predictable, it makes you dangerous anyway, because you don't know what to do. So you don't know how to defend against it, because one of the things that we did do, we stopped Wan-Bissaka advancing quite a lot last night. When he did advance, I thought he was excellent, Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka had a brilliant game. Yeah, I think
we tried to keep him back, and we did exactly the same on the left side. We tried to keep them back. So, as I've always said this, Guardiola thinks he reinvented the wheel. Did he? Fuck. He hasn't reinvented the wheel. It was done back in the 60s. A false nine or playing out from the back, and yet if you believe Talk Sport, he's some messiah. It's all bullshit. It's all just rubbish. It's all been done before. It's just people are doing it differently. The game's quicker, but like I say, when you look at that, it looks an absolute mess. When you look at the tactics, it looks a mess. But when you're on the pitch and you're kind of making decisions, on your own, you're making those decisions where to step into, where to step out, where to pass and where not to pass, who to close down and who to allow having the ball. There are some players on the pitch, you will allow them to have the ball because their ability is to go short, and they've got no ability to go long. We do it a lot on the weekend.
Have you noticed when us playing in this Pentagon shape, it has always worked the best when we have, for example, Casemiro here, Ugarte here, and the other number 8 behind. Yeah. So it's not a pentagon anymore. It's just a diamond.
It's just a diamond shape. But that's always.
And we have the extra man just to cover up all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how we are going to do this when the season starts. If Casemiro is in the 6 and Bruno will be in the 8, that's the question from the Devilish Tatikos, Shivam Kashiap coming in and say, where does Mbumo play if you're playing Bruno as an 8? Definitely not an upgrade. And that's one of my worries, because I think Bruno, he doesn't have the discipline. Sometimes, let's say, if the ball goes out, he would press immediately. He wouldn't care about his number 6 and the distance between the 6 and 8.
Whereas Mainoo does.
Mainoo was much more conscious when he pressed. Yeah. They always kept the distance, the correct distance between themselves.
Ahmad's going to be the victim, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Ahmad will be the victim, and Mbumo will come into there. But when
that's an option.
That's unfortunate, but he's likely to be the victim, or maybe Mainoo, because the problem is that the only non-victim out of all this is Bruno, the one that's potentially causing the problem. He will be the non-victim. So the victim will either be Ahmad or it'll be Mainoo. It'll be really, really difficult. Oh, exactly, Rich, by the way. Yeah, you're 100% right, mate. Jesus Christ.
But it's a strong connection between Portugal and Brazil when it comes to football.
Oh, yeah. Well, they speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
There's a good reason. There's a good story behind that. We won't go into that. But, it's interesting. You're right, Sean. Mainoo shouldn't start every game. No, I totally agree. But you are going to see Ahmad probably suffer more than most on that one. Or Mainoo suffers, Ahmad stays, and then Mbeumo goes in as a 10. Interesting. It's a conundrum, though, that isn't that difficult to solve. Actually, you need just to have a little bit of balls about you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Danny B also say we need a proper deep lying playmaker. I think Mainoo can do it, but he's not the only one.
Yeah, I agree, Danny. Yeah, again, well, you touched on that earlier in the segment that he would be. Magnifico's gone about, we want Cunha's ball carrying qualities. We do, and Mbeumo's got similar qualities ball carrying as well. So that's why you need that iconic 9 to finish off all the good work they're going to get. The also thing about a good solid 9, by the way, he gives that extra space in the middle, and Bruno would love that space in the middle if there was a more high-lying 9.
And why is that? Because the number 9 will push down the centre backs and create.
And Bruno's got more to play with. So it could well be that you may look and you may see Mainoo's game actually develop into a 6 role. So it gives Amarin more options in the 6. You bring in Sara, gives him more options in the 8 with Bruno and Sara maybe. You bring in a 9 and it gives him more options. But that space creation that Højlund doesn't currently create, Bruno would absolutely love.
Yeah.
You imagine, by the way, it's never going to happen, but you imagine putting Van Nistelrooy in that team with Bruno behind him. Bruno would absolutely revel in that 20 yards that Van Nistelrooy will leave him because Ruud's where he wants to be. Hold on. I'm up here. Where's the ball? I've been up here 2 seconds. I want that fucking ball in here and I want it now. When you get the ball, I'm in. So if you do use Bruno to and Mbeumo to Cunha, the ball's then coming straight back in and Ruud's in there scoring, isn't he? Or, that's obviously a pipe dream, but...
Well, let's look at the penalty situation.
While you're getting that up, let me just clarify this. He can't be a 6 at the minute, but I think his game will develop into a 6. Magnifico. And I really think his game, and if he does, he'll be absolutely brilliant for us because Jarvis was talking earlier about maybe Ugarte's inability to have a little bit of flair on the ball. Mainoo will have that. I think he's a better 6 or could be a better 6 in the next 18 months to 24 months. Than an 8. That's just my opinion, but I take your point.
Yeah. I am Titanium. Take care, guys. Got to go. Big up. I am Titanium.
Thanks for dropping in.
Sharing on X. Thank you for contributing in the live chat. You're always a legend and always welcome to the tactical.
Quickly answer that one before you go to the penalty.
Yep.
Joe Buckley says, can Mbeumo play striker? I think he could. Well, that's interesting. Lacazette. That's interesting. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon Mbeumo, not ideally, but I think he can vacate. He can do a role when needed. I think you have a versatile front 3 when you count in Cunha and Mbeumo. So, if you get another striker, I think it will be really, really good.
Prime Lacazette was quality, wasn't he, Jarvis? Do you remember Prime Lacazette?
It was too weak. Too weak for the Premier League.
No, but a good player though.
He was a good player,
Prime Lacazette
intelligent. He was intelligent.
Very intelligent, yeah. Sorry, I know you want to go to the penalty, mate. Sorry, pal. I just thought that was a good question.
Good question, yes. So the penalty situation was a cross from Bruno. I think it was a free kick. The calamity, because in this situation, everything seems hunky-dory for West Ham. They have control. We didn't come in with full force. We were standing still when the cross came, so nothing actually happened. But then this happened. He dropped the ball. and he puts
heaven
into the ground. I don't know why he took his arm out.
Anyway,
but I think heaven helped a little bit. He understood that Areola was coming.
Yeah, he was already going down. Did you see his body shape? He was waiting for it. It was brilliant. It's like a swan dive. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, it's a clear penalty, so there's nothing to say about it. Bruno on the penalty kick. Let's have a look.
Oh, it was a great penalty.
And he scores.
Yeah, it was a great penalty.
He has full control. Let me slow it down.
Keeper had no chance.
No chance.
He didn't really hit it that well, did he? It was a great penalty.
No.
Great.
But he always have control on the goalkeeper. We can trust Bruno when it comes to penalties. I trust him 100%.
Do you know what was interesting about that free kick? It was an awful free kick.
Yeah, you need more whip on it.
Yeah, it was an awful free kick. Mr. B's got a great question, actually. I like this question. I've always said, and it's just my opinion, buddy, I always like players to have a secondary position. I mean, I was a central midfielder, and when I got older, I got slowly, and that's why I decided to learn centre half so I can still prolong my career. You're absolutely right about Mainoo and the talent that he's got. You wouldn't necessarily want him as a 6 at this point in his career, but I think he's got the attributes to be a brilliant 6 because of the way he reads the game. And I think the guys are right, by the way, if you can work on your long-range passing. But he's got that ability to be able to drive the play forward. So a great 8, but I think also eventually I think he'll be a really, really good 6. But for me, I've always liked 2-footed players. I would always work on my left foot. So when we train, even now I will train with my left foot. I'm right-footed. I just always try and train with my left foot, try and practice my control.
Snub kids.
Yeah, or try and do something, try and shoot with it, try and clear with it. So that's all it is for me. I like players to, there's been players that we've had in the past that haven't been quite good enough to nail down a first team position. And maybe if they'd looked at other areas where we were weak in the team and tried to develop their game in that area, they may have gone on to have a better career. So it's the only reason, Mr. B. I take your point. I think you're right. There are talented players. So that is true. He doesn't want to play a 4-3-3, does he? I actually think we're better suited to a 4-3-3 personally, but I don't think he wants to do that, does he?
Me too.
I think we're better in a 4-3-3.
So this is the first goal. Let's just run through it quickly. You see Mainoo on the ball, but what I want you to notice is how quickly Ugarte comes in to rescue him when he loses the ball. It's about the distance I'm talking about between the two central midfielders. So Kobbie Mainoo, he receives the ball brilliantly. He takes the ball away from the presser and moves it forward. You can see Cunha is ready. Maybe he should have picked Cunha in this instance, but he keeps the ball.
Can you just circle Ugarte just for me, just to cheer me up? Go back a little bit. There he is. Look where he is. Right in the middle, where he should be.
Centrally, yeah.
Where he should be.
Brilliant.
Actually, again, it's worth noting, by the way, sorry to butt in, mate. I do apologise. But it's worth noting, isn't it, that Mainoo was playing deep because Ugarte had elevated. Worth noting that.
Yeah, but that's how you work in a pivot. It's not about moving up and down like this. You move up and down like this.
Right. Yeah.
Or
it's good to see. But it's good to see, isn't it? Good to see it in reality.
It is. Mainoo, he walks himself into trouble into 2 West Ham players. He tries to chip it to Bruno, but it's getting too difficult and loses the ball. But then you see Ugarte. Yeah.
Can I ask you about that? You saw Cunha you mentioned Cunha right at the beginning of the segment.
Yeah.
Cunha was waiting for it. Bruno was waiting for it. We noticed Ugarte was on the way back. Why don't you think he went to Cunha? Why do you think he didn't? Is that A, he wasn't looking at him, or B, he's not quite there with him yet?
I think it's because of the pressure. He just wants to go to control the ball, and he's confident on the ball. He's confident under pressure, but he needs to get away from the first instance, and that's this guy. But then he walks himself into trouble because he hasn't looked around good enough before he receives the ball, so he doesn't actually know what to do with it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Great spot there by Agile Beast. The referee's in the poor position. Actually, if you look at the referee, he's in a terrible position. I didn't notice that. I was concentrating on Mainoo's effort. Yeah, he's in a fucking woeful position. Well spotted there, pal. Well spotted.
But ideally, in this position, Mainoo should just have given the ball to Cunha straight here.
I think so.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
But he takes an extra touch and walks himself into trouble. Try to find Bruno. This tight space, and he loses the ball. So not a brilliant effort from Mainoo, but I like what I see. I like when he tries. But then again, look at Ugarte, how quickly he reacts and is the cover, and because of the distance between the two pivots. He wins the ball.
Tackle.
Brilliant on the outside of his foot.
I taught him that, Jarvis, my old mate. I told him how to do that.
You did.
Yeah, I wish.
I want to look at it again.
Yeah, just show it again. Yeah.
Oh. No sound.
I hope he said Megs as he went past him.
Yeah, he megged him.
Megs. I hope he said it. I'd have loved it.
And the through ball is brilliant,
Yeah,
and I like when you look at Ahmad, he waits for the space and comes in at the right time.
Criminal, although he got caught offside, wasn't it?
Brilliant goal, but he was offside. But
criminal.
I think
only because he was looking across the line. Only because he was looking across the line, old friend. I wouldn't normally have a go at Ahmad, but I thought, and there's one thing I know you're going to say, he tucked it away wonderfully well.
He did.
He was a lovely, lovely finish, wasn't it? Van Persie-esque, if I may say.
But if you look at Ahmad's run, he wants the ball right away.
Yes.
He don't want the through ball. He wants the ball in his feet.
Yeah, he was a bit slow, wasn't he?
Look at his hands. He wants the ball. He wants the ball here right
but
away.
To be fair, Ward, is that Ward-Prowse or is that Souček?
Souček.
That's Souček. Yeah, Souček's a bit of a twat, isn't he? And he does cover quite well, Souček, and so he does want it. That's the delivery part. But look where the ball is; it's right under his feet.
But this is where Ahmad takes his run from. He wants the ball here.
Yeah, agreed.
So when the through ball comes, he has already made his run. He can't stop. So that's why the offside flag comes up.
Yeah, what a sweep though. There you go. You see, you know where we always say 1, 2, 3, but you want 1, 2, 3. Ahmad had to go 1, 2, 3 quickly. Do you see little feet go like the Flintstones? His like little feet were doing that because he was moving that quickly. It was a great finish. Keeper had no chance.
Brilliant finish. So another clip. It's a Bruno the big Bruno chance that he didn't score right before the second goal. You see Højlund here 1-against-1, actually winning the ball against Kilman.
He was really strong there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like Kilman was, by the way. Kilman was strong there as well. Oh, this was awful, wasn't it, by Bruno?
But then again, you see Højlund against one centre back, and he makes his job so much easier just because of this.
Yeah, great stuff that was.
Yeah, and Bruno is 1-against-1 against a goalkeeper, and we should have scored here. So I don't know. Maybe it's because he got the ball on his left foot, or I don't know what happened. No, he has it on his right.
No, he got it under his foot. He got it under his foot.
It's the dry pitch. The ball stops.
Yeah, he got it under his foot again. I'm going to tell you, everybody, now, if that was Sir Jarvis of Cocker himself, he would have, as soon as he'd got to about roughly the edge of the box, maybe about 16 yards, and he would have scooped the keeper and scored. He would have scooped.
I would put my soul on the ball, dragged it to the left, and just finished with my left.
And then he would have peeled off. Little kiss to the crowd and peeled off. Lovely. Do you know what I would have done?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a striker. I'd have hit it at about 17 yards.
Boom. There.
Not there. No, a little bit.
Seventh floor.
I'd have gone wide. I'd have gone wide at the keeper, so the keeper's diving to his left. Look at the space. That's where I would have gone.
You would have gone here.
I would have gone there. Yeah, yeah, I would have gone there. Just another yard there. That's where I would have gone.
But it's a poor finish. It's a poor finish.
It's abysmal. Blame the pitch. I think you're right. Blame the pitch. It's abysmal.
Yeah, the pitch was terrible. It was terrible. But also they had a terrible goalkeeper, and Areola made a terrible mistake on.
Said the Reds agrees with you.
Okay, so this is the second goal. Areola plays it out from the back. United are in not the Pentagon shape. I don't know what you call this shape. Or
I don't care. Look where Ugarte is, Jarvis. Look where he is.
This is Ugarte.
Right the spine of the pitch. Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Areola tries to find the West Ham player. The pass goes.
Who's he trying to find, by the way?
Yeah, the pass goes here.
Yeah,
and Kobbie Mainoo brilliantly.
Brilliant there. Yeah.
Yeah, and you see Bruno, the goal scorer, is here. So Mainoo wins the ball.
Little dink.
He's already seen Bruno. Bruno wants the ball. Calmly, boom.
Go. Do you know how he killed that Bruno? How he killed it dead, and he just did that little step. Lovely goal. Absolutely lovely goal.
He positions his body in the right way.
Wonderful. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful goal. Højlund again occupying Kilman. So if you look where if you just take it back just a tiny bit, just before Bruno gets the ball. You know, Kilman's looking at Bruno, but he's having to be aware of Højlund at that particular time, and that's why Kilman wasn't across.
But why didn't Kilman just chase him down? Why did you just take a step to the right? You should have applied pressure.
Yeah, I totally agree, because and you're absolutely right, because the chances of Højlund getting in behind Kilman are good, but the chances of Bruno finding Højlund are long. It's a long shot, isn't it, to get that ball into Højlund? Højlund would have had he's never going to get it to him. So Kilman was too late. I don't know who the left back is though.
This is Todibo.
That's Todibo there, but who's in front of Bruno, because he was woefully out of position. He was your problem. And that's what Kilman's getting at.
This is what you do when you play out from the back. You put your wide, stride, and you push up your.
That's why we were caught. That's why Maguire was caught out so many times last season, because we were fucking about with the ball at the back. But you know, the interesting thing about all of that, Jarvis, is it's a really difficult technique to produce and score. It's a difficult goal. So.
But it's a brilliant goal too. So we got to give it to Bruno.
Yeah,
applaud him. This is what you get from Bruno. This is the best from Bruno Fernandes, our captain.
Have we got? It is just me, 43. Good evening.
Big up.
Welcome. Cass made an interesting point, actually, to be fair, about needs to improve tackling, interception, and endurance. I'd agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Bailey Land, big up Bailey. It hasn't been disclosed, the bid. Report says there's been a bid for Antony, but United wants 50 million. That's all we know for now. But 50 million is the offer anyone United wants. So I don't know yet. We don't know yet. It hasn't been disclosed.
Jarvis, we're on 96 likes at this point in time, and we've got an extra couple of subscribers tonight as well. We're on 1.35. Thank you so much.
Four more likes, and we reach our target of 100. So we will see the last goal before we wrap up the show. It was
great. I so enjoyed tonight getting back to doing what we do best, Well,
Yes.
I hope we're doing what we do best. Sorry, that sounds really egotistical. I take that back, devilish tacticos. I didn't mean it like that. It's been nice to talk about a game, is what I was getting at.
It's lovely to talk about football. I'm a footballing nerd. So this is in the, I would say, the 65th minute or something, right before we made all the subs. It's Todibo on the ball. Cunha is pressing him on the outside, pushing him into the Pentagon. And he's doing the right thing. So if you see here, Cunha is pressing him from the outside and pushing Todibo inside. And I don't think that the pivot you see here, I think it's Ugarte and Mainoo. You see they are caught flat.
Ugarte was out of
It's not
position.
what we want to see.
Yeah,
we want to see Ugarte in about here. And Mainoo, when Mainoo pushes out.
I'd have him actually behind Mainoo, but you're right. That vicinity. You've got to make a bigger box, haven't you? Ultimately, that vicinity, you've got to make it bigger zone.
But, I think their legs got a little bit tired. It was the end of the game. But you see the Pentagon shape, as we talked about. You see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is what we want to see, how we press. But not ideally, we want Ugarte a little bit behind and Mainoo a little bit higher.
Rasmus, great position, though. Look at Rasmus, brilliant position. Just in case we get that quick intercept like we did before, Rasmus is there. Feed me.
Yes.
Feed the goat, and he will score. Rasmus isn't quite the goat. But,
But when you see West Ham have 3 guys here, we are overcommitting. We are trying to flop them, but it doesn't work. So Todibo goes inside, he cuts inside, and suddenly he just plays through our press.
Simple ball, yeah.
You see these 2 guys are leaving a big gap here, and the ball goes straight through.
That's it.
So this is what you get when you're in preseason. I don't think it will happen when the season starts, or, well, it will happen, but
I think most fans...
It's a junior mistake. Mistake.
Oh, that is, yeah. I think most fans will look at last night and see, they'd have to say there's been an improvement. Well, I think we all... But we're nowhere near. And that's the beauty of pre-season. That's why we got pre-season. I also listened to his... I thought his post-match interview was quite interesting. And that is... Joe, it was Sean Gota. Feed the goat, there he will score. Absolutely. He said, maybe it's contradictory, I don't know. Make of it what you will, guys. But he came out and said, if I hadn't come 6 months earlier, I wouldn't be able to learn from the mistakes that I made 6 months ago, within that 6 month period. And I thought that was really interesting. Very honest, but very interesting. So he's putting a lot of pressure on himself, isn't he, Amorim, to get this right. So, Bailey, we did talk about that.
But we will see it now. And I'm just saying, it's sacrilege for the Pentagon to let the ball coming through them centrally, because we have, as I said, the wing backs are ready on the outsides, ready to jump. So we will have one wing back in this area and one big wing back in the other area, ready to jump if the ball goes on the outside. But you should never let the ball through the middle. So this is why the position of Ugarte and Mainoo was totally off in this instance.
It is more of a shame for them than me, but that one, that's a good George. I like that. Gregory, sorry, mate, I do like that.
So the ball comes from Todibo. I think it's Ward-Prowse who receives it.
Fantastic player, isn't he, Ward-Prowse?
And this is what a good midfielder do. When you have the space, you have seen around, you know what's behind you. You receive the ball, turn with it, and then start running and progressing the ball into the area. And you see here Mainoo and Ugarte trying to catch up, but they can't do it.
Can't do it. We were all over the place.
But as someone mentioned, look at Heaven's position.
Yeah, it's wrong. It's completely wrong. But Heaven was covering the middle.
Bowen is smart. He starts here and moves out.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. It's the crisscross. It's the old switcheroo. as you say in motorcycle racing. You're going behind her, you go wide to cut back in to overtake your opponent. That's exactly what Bowen's done. Bowen's looked at Heaven's position, body shape, and realised that I'm going to get the ball from Ward-Prowse. Let's be clear about that. He knows he's going to get the ball. Secondly, he knows he'll get the run on Heaven all day long.
But Stu, a question, because I'm not a centre back. If you're a centre back, as De Ligt here, you are in a position where you actually can choose to go against the press.
You can, and this is what Cass is talking about. Mainoo's not got any speed, has he?
No,
he's not really got any pace. Yeah, so somebody with a bit of pace would have done that. And the other problem for De Ligt is he's already on the way back, so his motion's taking him back. So by the time he stops and adjusts himself, Ward-Prowse is pretty much on him, or will be in and around his area. He'll be on him. Well, Ward-Prowse won't want to be that close to him anyway, because they want to make sure he delivers the ball for Bowen. And being away from the centre half allows you that space, doesn't it, to make the pass? But you're absolutely right. Good point. But we're all moving backwards, aren't we? We're all going. That is a typical example of losing the ball to quick turnover, being sprung and caught out of possession and position. And that's what we've done. Because what's the biggest gaping hole in there? Where would Rodri be? Let me just ask you that, guys. Where would Rodri be? Rodri would have been on the halfway line. Or
he would.
But you've made that point, Jarvis. We were caught out. So I'm not going to eat anyone's lunch for it, but now stop it there. This is why I want to pick up on Heaven. Can you just go back a little bit? Just take it back a little bit. I want you to watch Heaven. Just don't concentrate on Bowen. Concentrate on Heaven. Watch. He's got no idea where Bowen is until it's too late. That's why I said to you last night he was woefully caught out of position, and he was, because he didn't know. He knew Bowen was going there because they crashed into each other, but he forgot. He must have forgotten what was going on, or he thought Dorgu was in, but Dorgu was never catching him. Mainoo, it was too late to catch the ball, but look where De Ligt is to where Ward-Prowse presents the ball to Bowen. Ward-Prowse kept the gap. Have you noticed? He kept the gap between him and De Ligt.
Yeah, the distance.
He didn't encroach on the gap. He kept the gap, and he kept the gap for a reason, to make sure he could deliver the pass. Heaven's looking over. Look, Heaven's looking at us. Now he turns. It's too late. But watch Bowen's finish, though. I mean, you want to know how to finish.
But as a centre back, should you turn like that? Is that the way to turn? How you position your body? Because he loses all his momentum, in his sprint back, because he's. I don't know.
You should always, as a centre half, when that's happening, unless if it's over to your side, you should be backpedaling.
But I would have liked Heaven to be more like De Ligt in this position. His body shape.
Yeah, well, if you actually go back further to the beginning of the move, okay, just play it on. Stop there. Heaven should be first of all stopping Bowen. To get his arm out, you should stop Bowen. He knows he's there. But before that, you should be backpedaling. You should be facing the play, backpedaling. So you're kind of running backwards. And the reason you do that is you're not having to turn. So you can see what's happening in front of you at all time. Heaven and De Ligt don't necessarily know what's. De Ligt does, because he's looking, isn't he, over his shoulder. Heaven was looking towards De Ligt. So Heaven kind of caused his own problem there, to be honest. But I'm not. Look, I'm not going to have a go at the lad. I'm just
no. You just asking a genuine question. I don't know. I feel there's something off with his body shape.
It was.
Maybe it should have been like this.
Yeah, if he was walking backwards, he'd have known exactly. If he was facing the play, he'd have known exactly where Bowen was, and he could have tracked Bowen, and he could have pulled Bowen back, or stopped him, or committed a foul, or whatever. But he didn't. If you go back again to when Ward-Prowse picks up the ball. And watch Heaven. Just watch Heaven's body shape. Stop it there. Stop it there. He's still looking towards De Ligt. He's not looking at where Bowen is. Should at least then, when he saw what he's going, he should have turned around, kind of like gone around on himself
straight away. Yeah,
straight away and followed. You don't need to follow and cut in. So, but as I say, very clever from Ward-Prowse. Very clever from. Well, actually, it wasn't clever from Bowen, but he did enough. Bowen did enough to get around him, and then let's see the goal. Yeah, Bailey, I agree. He's young. Absolutely. I'm not going to beat him up on it. I'm not. I refuse to. I'm not going to do that. But he did lose his man, and it's not right for us not to.
But if you see the line here, he's too central. He should have been.
Correct.
This is the line of the outer defense. Yeah.
Correct. Now, what you want here, really. Again, there's no danger from Delap and what did I say, Delap? There's no danger from Ward-Prowse, and there's no danger from I don't know who that player is there. 17. Is that 17 or 11? There. There's no danger from those two. So if I was Delict, I'd be getting across heaven. So I'll be aiming. I'll be instead of going straight, I'll be going
down here. Yeah.
Because we got enough cover here to cover those, but we didn't. So
no.
The lick stops. Heaven's got him there, but it's too late. If you know Bowen, like you do, Jarvis, it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Hopefully, Heaven can learn from this. I think he will learn because he looks a little bit nonchalant in his defending. Sometimes he relies on his physical attributes. His legs, his ability to react quick and close down the space. But I think he needs to be more turned on in situations like this.
You know the good thing about that, as soon as he sees the play build up like that we just showed it, he'll know straight away. He'll know, fuck, what was I doing? And then you'd be asking Delic, how was I doing there? I didn't realise that was happening. And then by the time, good to see you, but we had to demonstrate, we had to highlight that.
Yeah.
We did have to highlight that. And I think, ultimately, I didn't think Evan had a great game. I was quite honest with you about that, didn't I? I thought he was edgy and scrappy, And he goes, well, he's not shaking. You made the point about Dorgy, and you were right. But actually, as it turns out, we were both right.
Yeah.
He was a bit dodgy in places, but he didn't get any help from Dorgy. But, both time was right, though. We looked fit, didn't we? We looked big. We looked good, from that point. So, I'm really hoping. I mean, what's going to be great now is that we're going to see how far we've come against a really good outfit in Bournemouth. That'll be really interesting to see.
That will be the litmus test.
A great litmus test, great yardstick. Yeah. People might look at this Premier League summer series and think, it's got West Ham in it. It's got Everton. It's got Bournemouth. Where did West Ham finish, Jarvis?
12th.
Where did Bournemouth finish, Jarvis?
8th, 9th.
And where did Everton finish? 14th.
I don't know, 16th.
14th. Both Everton, both West Ham and Bournemouth finished above us, and Everton were looking like finishing above us as well, and they were. So, we have done something. We've won a game. It's a friendly. We move on. We just kick on to the next level, and that's it. He was Daniel. Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, but he didn't do himself any favors with his position. As soon as you feel somebody rub you, you pull out and you grab them. You try and stop them. But again, I'm not going to. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not going to eat Hammond's lunch. But you're right. You should have been further out.
Yeah, I've done all the clips, just the highlights from the game. When the games are back on in the Premier League, we will find better clips. This is just the goals. We have tried to
Yeah, it's
analyze
just
them as
taking
good
us
as we
back
can.
into
But
it.
it's good to be back analyzing
Yeah, a bit
football, not
rusty.
just talking about gossip and rumors. But I just want to say from BPV 74, did you guys watch the women's final? Yes, I saw it. It was a
I
great
did.
game.
Yes,
Exciting game,
104 likes.
and the Lionesses won, and we have passed 100 likes. That's also good. I'm grateful that you guys actually like the content that we put out there. So for me, I don't have any more to talk about. I think we are done. We have analyzed the game as good as we can. I'm just checking X to see if there's any updates, anything from the world of football. No.
Anything? I was having a quick look. I didn't see anything. Has Rushmana got any updates? No. I think it's going to be quiet. I think it'll kick on again next week, pal.
Yeah. It will be a lot of rumors coming into the last month of the summer transfer window. And we are still looking for a midfielder, a striker, maybe a left wing back, and maybe a centre back, but definitely a goalkeeper. So we will see. And Isak to Liverpool, yes, that might happen now that they have sold their winger to Bayern Munich. So
I think so.
it'll be interesting. It will be
I think
interesting
so.
because Luis Diaz signed a 75 million euro package with Bayern. Here we go from Fabrizio. So it will be interesting to see if they can sign Isak and what kind of striker we land on. Will it be Cesko? Will it be Watkins? Who knows?
Or will there be a surprise in the mix? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Guys, thank you ever so much for tuning in. There's been tons of you watching, absolutely tons of you. Got over the 100 likes as well, which is great. It helps with the algorithm. I think we've made £1.50 from tonight's stream to go to the pot. So no, I'm only kidding. I don't think we made that much, have we?
Probably not.
I'm only joking. It's great to be back. I felt a bit rusty. Analysing the games, but it was great to be back. As always, the Devilish Tacticos are on point with everything they said, which is brilliant. No problem at all. So we'll be back tomorrow night.
Mark will be on.
Mark Langridge will be on. So if you've got any conspiracy theory questions, let him know. Then Jarvis will be flying solo with a guest on Thursday and Sunday. So Jarvis will be doing a review on Sunday, and then I'll be back Monday to do the review with him for the Everton game.
Big up, Bailey Land. Thank you for subscribing.
Big up. So yeah, we got lots. Hopefully, there'll be lots to talk about. Obviously, if something massive happens, and me and Jarvis need to go live in which for 10 minutes or whatever to talk about it, we will do. But between now and then, we'll keep with our regular show slots. Look out as well for our socials. They're going to start to grow over the coming weeks. We're going to get onto Instagram, aren't we, Jarvis? Do we do in Facebook? Oh God, I don't know. I don't know Facebook. We don't know Facebook, do we? We'll probably do an X. Look out for a Tactical Devils X if we can. As well, so we got a couple of plans over the next few weeks to do that. But
and by the way, Jay is helping out making shorts for the channel, so there will also be a couple of shorts coming up in the next month. So look out for them. Big up Jay United. Thank you for all the help.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you to all the moderators as well. You're all top draw as always. We couldn't do it without you guys. So magnificent. I don't even know what Facebook is anymore. I once called it FaceTube by accident, and I don't know why because I got confused. But anyway, it is what it is.
FaceTube.
Yeah, I did. I was being a knobhead. I think I don't know what I was talking about. I might have had a sherbet or two at that time. I don't know.
Yes, we are on TikTok, by the way. But I always repost Jay's shorts. So when Jay puts out shorts, there will be new updates on TikTok. Yeah. By the way, I want to thank Fred the Red, Agile Beast, Jay United, big up moderator Jay. Magnifico 88, Gems coming in, say thank you guys, big up Gems, thank you for tuning in. Bath Time coming in late but coming in strong with a lot of good comments. Yo, Mr. Pyramids is on tomorrow. Yes, Mark Langridge is
I'll have to
on.
tell him that. Yeah.
Joe Buckley, big up. Jeff Buckley, Joe Buckley, Bailey Lan, our new subscribers. Thank you, Bailey. A lot of people I haven't mentioned. All of you, Rob, Always United, Mr. B, well, Stanny B, everybody with B. So it's been a great stream.
Stephanie Griffiths was in the legend that Stephanie has been in as well. Gems, thank you for tuning in. I haven't seen you for a while.
Jules, Jamie Wayne, Rich, Red Devil United, George Shea Burke, all of you, thank you for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. So guys, girls, tune in, set your notifications on, and Stu and I and Mark will be back tomorrow night. So we will see you then. Have a good one, everybody, and ta-da.
Bye-bye.
Oh, maybe I should check. Maybe we should co-stream to someone.
I don't think Cass is live because he's just in the chat. So
okay, so no one is on. Okay, then I can't.
I'll have a quick look. I don't think we can raid anyone.
Is there anyone live that we can raid? Nah.
No, there's nobody live we can raid.
Okay.
Sure, it's not going live, is he? No.
Then we just call it a night. So have a good one, guys, girls. Have a good one, and we will see you tomorrow night. Bye.